Welcome. Our firm is dedicated to being your expert bridge between Asia and Europe, providing leading cross-border legal services with integrity.
Hi everyone, it's Brianna. There's very common misconception about the work of a litigation lawyer. People think we are always just waiting to drag someone to court. I fearlessly and anxiously wait for a judgment to declare a winner. But honestly, after years in the profession, accompanying businesses in the investment projects, I always tell my clients one thing: winning in court isn't necessarily a real victory. Why do I say that? Because the moment you file a lawsuit, you strip yourself of the three most valuable assets in the business. First is harm or commercial dispute getting through trial, and appeal can easily drag on for 2 or 3 years. Second is money, not just court fees or legal fees, but the opportunity cost when your capital is frozen. And third is confidentiality. Your trade secrets, pricing, and profit margins will be exposed in public records. Therefore, today I want to share an art I call containment at the core, the art of pre-litigation negotiation. Let me give you a real-life example I handled. Last year, I advised an investor from the EU. They had signed a contract to purchase a massive machinery line from a manufacturing partner in Vietnam to set up their factory. The 50% deposit was transferred smoothly, but as the delivery deadline approached, the Vietnamese side started to freeze and stone for time. And they threw out every excuse in the book: raw material supply chain disruptions, exchange rate fluctuations, labor shortages. And the climax was when they sent an official letter demanding my client accept a 20% price increase from the original contract before they would release the goods. Otherwise, they would just let the project sit and gather dust. My client was absolutely furious at the time, and they felt extorted and wanted me to file a lawsuit immediately to freeze the other company's accounts, demanding the deposit back plus breach penalties. But I analyzed the reality for them. If you see right now, if you sue, you still won't have the machinery to get your factory running on schedule. Your multi-million-dollar cash flow will be stuck waiting for the court's resolution. And let me try using legal leverage to pull them back to the negotiation table first. Then my first step in pre-litigation negotiation is not picking up the phone and argue or make threats. The first step is gathering files. My team and I quietly reviewed and collected every single piece of evidence, missing no detail from contract clauses, addendums, and progress inspecting minors, to promising zero or without messages from the project manager, pointing out the massive contradictions in the excuses they used to justify the delay. Once the file was watertight, I officially launched a demand letter. But this wasn't just a procedural data collection paper. This was a psychological strike. In that letter, I didn't bother arguing about who was right or wrong anymore. I directly painted a disastrous financial scenario for their board of directors if we actually took this to the court or commercial arbitration. I listed in detail the massive court fees they would have to advance, the risk of the factories' bank accounts being urgently frozen, preventing them from paying workers, and how their reputation with other FDI partners would hit rock bottom. Specifically, I pinpointed the risk of personal liability for their legal representative if there were signs of abuse of trust to appropriate property. People generally aren't afraid of vague threats. They only truly step back when they see clear damage figures and direct risks threatening their wellness and the life of their business. Of course, life isn't a dream and commercial negotiations cannot be resolved overnight. The letter was the ticket to force them to sit down. Following that letter was an extremely tense tug-of-war that lasted nearly 4 months. Both sides went through dozens of in-person and online meetings, with moments where it seemed everything would collapse and we were heading to court. They tried to smooth things over, then got tough, then backed down again. I had to constantly play good cop, bad cop alongside my client to maintain the rhythm of the negotiations. And finally, patience bore fruit. Both sides signed a supplementary agreement. The Vietnamese side agreed to keep the original price and accept a minor penalty. And in return, my client agreed to extend the final payment schedule and cover a small fraction of their logistics costs. And most importantly, the machinery line was delivered right to my client's factory. The supply chain was preserved and the matter was kept completely confidential. Through this story, I want to summarize 3 core lessons. Don't rush to court. Always treat the court as your final backup weapon. Second is evidence is power. Don't negotiate with emotions. Negotiate with records, documents, and meticulous preparation. And the third, the ultimate goal is cash flow and stability. The legal pressure we create is not to destroy the partner, but to protect our safe business strategy, helping the project move forward. And I am Brianna, an attorney specializing in foreign investment and commercial litigation in Vietnam. I am here to help you build the safest legal shoes. If you need a strategic companion, connect with me. And thank you for watching. See you in the next video.